Okay, so let's start with this session. So good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Zubin Sahil. I am the program manager for machine learning at MIT Future Academy. So to begin with, I hope all of you are doing well and stay are everybody is safe and every sound. So okay, so let's start with the session. So the prime focus program for today will be the machine learning program. So our machine learning program basically wherein you would learn everything from basics of Python to various supervised, unsupervised, and then deep dive into deep learning and artificial AI techniques. So apart from that, MIT Future Academy also provides various other courses on blockchain, business analytics, cybersecurity, digital marketing, etc. So, what I would suggest is you do visit our website. The URL for that would be www.amityfutureacademy.com and explore various other courses that we provide. And if at all you require a phone call from our academic expert, please fill in the registration over there, and our academic expert will get in touch with you and try to solve your queries about each of the programs. Okay, so for today's session, the faculty is Mrs. Anamika Mitra. So she's one of our online program faculties. So she will just go through, give you an overview of Python, how easy it is. So, ma'am, you can start with the session.
All right, Zubin. Thank you.
Yep.
So, hello everyone.
One more thing, ma'am. One more thing. If at
Yes.
all you have any queries in between the session, please send it in the chat section, and later on we will try to resolve as much as possible.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Zubin. Hello everyone. This is Anamika Mitra. I'll be taking your session this time. In this session, we will be discussing about Python. As you all know that nowadays everyone is running behind Python. So first we will be trying to know that why you should learn Python, and then the next topic will be like how easy is to learn Python. So today we are going to discuss about Python. Well, as you all are aware of the programming languages like C, C++, Java, JavaScript, these are the very famous and they are very traditional languages. So basically, why nowadays we are going towards Python, right? But as you all know that Python is on high demand. It has transcended to many folds nowadays. So the question comes here that Python is great. Why it is great for your career, right? So let me tell you about myself that Python is one of my favorite language. Before Python, I was doing programming in C, C++, and sometimes in Java. But now I'm completely devoted to Python. So let's start today's session. Today I will be giving you some reasons why you should learn Python. So reasons why you should learn Python. So the first thing is syntax. Let me tell you that the difference between Python and one of the programming language, strong programming language, that is Java, that syntax difference is so much. The first thing is syntax. Syntax, or you can say punctuations, syntaxes are actually the format that helps the computer to understand the structure of the program. That is using curly brackets, semicolon, and so many things. So these are the punctuations which tells you that how you can structure your program. So in case of Java, you can there are 3 line of syntaxes I have written for printing a simple statement, that is hello world, right? But in case of Python, what I have done is I just have written print and then hello world. Print and then hello world. That's it. So what we can say is that Python syntax is very great. It is very clean, and they are just the commands, right? They are just the commands. You just have to write the command and then you have to shoot your statement. So we can say that it is like a very, very beginner friendly language, right? Python can be very great to start with. Nowadays, if you want to learn a new thing, that I will always suggest that it will be Python. With the help of Python, you can do so many stuffs, right? So this is what we can say. We can say that Python is actually a very powerful language. It is free and open source. Yes, you can just go to the Google web page and just type any kind of IDE to download the software. So that it is that much easy, and it is also open source. That means you will be having the complete license of that particular language. So it is that easy. Next is high level language and so on. We will be discussing this gradually in the session. Next is versatility. Versatility means that it can be used for various applications, right? It can be used for various platforms. For example, like we can use Python for web development, we can use Python for data science, we can use Python for ML, that is machine learning, and many more, right? Means you learn one language and you are able to do so many things, right? So many things, as I have told you, like web development, data science, machine learning, etc., etc. So you can just learn, you will be learning one single language, that is Python, and you will be able to do so many things. Python has become very popular nowadays. As you all know that the graph of the Python has tremendously increased. As you can see this graph, in this graph, you can see very well that this particular graph, I have found it from Stack Overflow. Stack Overflow is one of the very good website where it is just a community. It actually gives you the clear picture of the rise of use of Python language since 2012 to 2018. So you can see the bold red colored line is the line and shows that how much Python has tremendously increased. So this is what the Python has become so popular. So Python, you can say like Python is like 2-in-1 combination. For example, like you are having one shampoo, and in this shampoo you are having the same body wash. So that particular gel can be used for as a shampoo as well as body wash, right? So this is like that. Means you learn one language and you are able to do so many things, and all are amazing stuffs. Undoubtedly, all are amazing stuffs. Even if if we talk about web development, if we talk about testing, if we talk about data science, if we talk about machine learning, all are amazing stuffs. So basically what we are saying is that Python has helped to cover up almost all of the domain of the software industry, right? Next, which I want to tell you is that how powerful is Python has become nowadays. Companies, giant companies, for example, to name a couple like Amazon, Flipkart, Instagram, NASA, even NASA you know very well, IBM, Spotify, Netflix, these all are very big companies, and they all are having good Python developers in their team. And you can say that they all need a good Python developers in the future as well. These companies use Python, and no matter what, but it's important to know that market needs a huge number of Python developers. They all are, everyone knows about these companies. So you can easily guess that how much important nowadays Python has become. So I would like to mention here one thing, that there is a very renowned agency, that is Gartner. So according to Gartner, they have done some kind of survey. In that survey, they have said once that founders of Google, the big company, founders of Google have taken early decision that they need to use Python as their programming language, official language, right? So Google themselves have given the statement that use Python wherever you can, and use C++ where you must. So this is the statement Google company has officially given, that wherever you can use Python, you want to make things easier, you use Python, and then wherever you want to do some other stuffs, you can choose some other language as well. So this is what the how you can assume that how much powerful the Python has become. Google is a big company and they are themselves using this language, right? So this is what the power of a Python. Next thing which I want to tell you is about extensibility. Extensible means that the portable and extensible properties of Python is that you can use this language in different platforms, right? For example, you can write down the coding in Windows platform as well as Linux platform as well as some other platforms. So it is basically a portable. It means that you have written the code in Windows platform and you can run the same code in Linux platform as well. So this is what the extensibility. Next is community. Yes. Community means a group of people, group of developers. Here we will say like group of developers. So community, you can say that Python has huge community of developers. And the question here is like you can ask that why do we need community? When I am already a programmer, I just need a laptop, I just need a Google, and then I can do the programming. But the thing is that why do we need a community, a well-educated, settled community? The answer which I will be giving here is that community is very important. It is very handy. For example, like whenever you are building something, any kind of application or doing any kind of project, for example, if you are experimenting with the function and suddenly you are stuck somewhere, right? So in that case, for example, like either you don't know how to build the software or you do not know how to fix the bug, right? There is where the community step in and help you to find out the problem. For example, like you can do what? For example, you are making a project and somewhere you have stuck somewhere, right? You can go to the community and just type your problem, or you can post your problem. If someone in the previous have encountered with that same problem, you can get the solution from there and it will be helpful for you, right? And the same thing, if someone has not encountered the same similar problem in the past, what you can do is you can post the problem and someone in the community can help you to find out the error, right? Or you can find out the way to solve the problem. And since you know, as I'm telling you that the people are learning Python in huge number, so you can say that the community, Python community has constantly increasing. Everyone is like delving into the in this particular platform, right? So you can easily see that how important the Python has become. Next is which I want to tell you is about resources. Resources means that, as I'm telling you, that people are like coming and doing Python coding and so on. Community is developing and like that only. So we can say that since more the people are using Python, more the resources we are having, right? For example, like we can have different frameworks. From frameworks to libraries, lots of inbuilt libraries are there, which makes the development easier and faster, right? We can say here that the libraries of the Python is so huge that we can use any of the inbuilt function or inbuilt module or inbuilt library. You can use it and directly implement the program. For example, like if I tell you that I want to implement the code for face recognition, right? There are some different methods or functions, inbuilt functions, which I will be using directly, and I can just make the things happen. So in this way, you can say that the resources of the Python is very rich. It is very rich in the libraries and the frameworks, right? So this way you can see that how fast the Python has developed, as I have shown you, how fast the Python has developed, how the things has been made easier. Which I'm telling you about resources, this resource is very useful thing. There are very it is like that also. For example, if I myself has built a library which is very helpful and new to the people, to the community, what I can do is I can make the library official to the Python group, so that some other person can use my library in his program. This way we can do so many things, right? So if I summarize the whole thing which I have told you right now, that Python is very easy to learn. It is very, like, syntaxes are very easy. Syntactically, the things we can write down is very easy, right? So this is what why we need to learn. We can learn Python. Secondly, the encapsulating the characters with the help of brackets and semicolon, it does not require actually. It just need the indentations, right? We need to write less line of code as compared to other languages. For example, I can give you one practical example. Like, I was doing a project where I have written a particular, where I was doing some stuff in which I have clearly compared that when I was writing the same program in Java, I have written 60 line of code, and the same thing when I have tried to do in Python, I just did it in 10 line of code. So see how vast the difference is. How vast the difference is. Like, doing the same thing in Java is so difficult, as it requires so many line of code as compared to the language Python. So this is what I will say, that line of code is very, very less. So you can say that you have to do less effort to get the result. So next is interpreter. Yes, I want to tell you that Python is like an interpreted language where it is very, like, as you all know, the difference between interpreter and compiler, right? I hope so. Interpreter, in case of interpreter, it becomes very easy to spot the errors, because interpreter stops at the position, at the point, at the instant, as soon as it encounters the error. So it becomes very easy to find out the errors in case of Python. If we talk about, like, one of the IDE, that is like Anaconda. In Anaconda, we are having two different packages of Jupyter, and next is Spider. So in Spider, the console part can be treated as a calculator. You can just use it as a calculator. You can do 2 plus 2. It will just give you directly 4. So this is what interpreter will help you to find out. It becomes easier. Next is Python org. Python organization has lots of huge resources, as I have told you, libraries, as well as user-defined libraries for a variety of working field. As I have told you just a few minutes back, that, for example, I have found a good, I have made a good module where I can solve a problem for community, right? So what I have did is, instead of other people doing the same work, what I have did, I made it as a library and asked others to use it freely, no problem. Next is visualization. Yes, this has become a very important issue nowadays. We can see that visualization, for example, like, if we see nowadays, you all are watching televisions. You are getting information every time. You are getting information about coronavirus disease, right? You are seeing so many graphical forms they are using to represent the situation. So you can say that they are actually giving you the visual form of the data. Instead of showing the data in Excel sheet or something like that, they have visualized it. They have given they have used chart in the form of charts or something like that. So in Python, we can say that Python has a very good libraries for visualization purpose, right? You can use those libraries and you can directly give in the form of graphical, right, graphs. For example, like, Python has a collaboration with MATLAB also. Means they have the library through which they can fetch the functionalities of MATLAB also and implement them in the IDE of Python. So this is what the this is what we can say, that how good the Python is. So basically, everyone, this Python has helped you. This Python will help you to make the things more easier. As I have told you that so many companies are using this particular language, right? For example, like let me tell you one more example. Nowadays, a few days back, there was a competition organized by MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. They have given the task, and that task, the first prize winner has completely used the Python, right? So that they can give good picturization, good visualization to the people who can understand that how deadly the virus is, something like that, right? So you can say that so many people are like involving themselves to this particular language, so that they can do more of the data analysis, they can do more for the desktop things and so on, right? So this is what the thing is. So here I have tried to underline the main features and applications which people are using, choosing Python for their programming language. As you all know that, as I have told you, that Python's popularity has been increased, as I've given you one of the example of Stack Overflow, that it has clearly showed that how much request has come for this particular language since 2012 to 2018. So practically we can see that how much popularity it has gained in recent in this decade only, right? So since the popularity is increasing, the salary companies are paying a handsome salary to the Python developers or Python experiences, right? Python, as I have told you, that Python can be used in data sciences. Yes, data science. Data science is one of the very bulging topic nowadays. Whatever game we are playing with data, that can be used to represent with the help of Python. So Python is so much important for data science. Python, with the help of Python, we can do automation, we can do scripting, right? With the help of Python, we can analyze the big data. Big data means a huge, a high dimensional data, complex dimensional data can be easily analyzed with the help of Python language, right? What actually we are talking is that nowadays Python is so much important. So with so next, like for example, I can tell you that testing. In case of testing also, automation testing, if I particularly go to the point that automation testing, in case of automation testing also, Selenium, one of the tool we are using, companies are using, and that tool was previously supported Java language, but now they have allowed, Selenium company has allowed Python to support it, right? See, that means testing domain has also been covered. Similarly, artificial intelligence and web development. So what I can say is that Python, since you know that, as I've told you, that Python has uh, covered the whole, almost all of the domain of the software industry, right? So this industry is now developing. Every day it is developing, right? So you cannot challenge this time that why to go for this on that. So Python is like that only. So this is what I have told you about, all about Python. This is what I want to focus once again, that I again want to tell you that the number of line of code is always less as compared to other languages. If you have a knowledge, if all of you who was just involving this seminar, I want to tell you that if you have a little bit knowledge of any of the language, you can easily relate yourself to this particular example. This is just a very basic example. Like this only, there are so many things. As I have told you with my experience, that I was doing some project. In that project, I have written the line of code in 60 to 70 lines, and the same thing was done in Python for 10 line of code. So you can see that how you can, with my experience, you can see that how easy the things has become. It is less time taking also, you can see, right? Writing the 60 line of code will definitely take a huge amount of time as compared to 10 line of code. Just what you need to know is the particular library, right? You just need to know that which library is suitable for your work, whatever project you are doing, which library is suitable to it, right? So this is what the importance is. And if you want to use your own manual or in customized functions or methods, you can do it as well also, right? There is no compulsion that you have to use inbuilt functions only. You can make your own functions also. So this much of flexibility has been given in the Python language. So this is what the whole thing is all about. And the next thing is, which I want to tell you, is that, for example, like if you there is one question which people generally used to ask me, is that how much secure the Python language is, right? Uh, Generally, the people used to ask me that how much secure the Python language is, or what do you mean by security in Python? Uh, and so many questions regarding the security of the Python, right? And since you know that Python can be, as I've told you, that Python has covered up almost all of the domain of the software industry. So security, that means cryptography or something like that. I would like to tell everyone here that security has very little to do with the language, right? For example, like you can do very secure things in any of the language, and also very insecure things, right? The program which you write usually does what you tell it to do, right? For example, like if you are sloppy and careless, then the software will have multiple vulnerabilities. If you care and do things the right way, there will be no surprises, right? Also, like that, the language in itself does nothing. Language itself does not nothing. It is the implementation you should consider. There are dozens of Python environments, probably like some more secure than others. So you cannot say that Python is insecure or it does not provide security in terms of the security, right? As I have given you the example, like Google people are using this Python language. So I believe that if Google is using Python, so it is secure enough, right? So you can say like this also. So what in brief, I can say that it is not the language that is secure or not. It is how you make the use of language to make your application secure. Like authorization and authentications are the implemented set of procedures to make functioning securely, right? And yes, if you are talking about secure in respect of beginning to learn, then Python is secure, no problem. Python has got a very big open source community to serve you at the start point in between of the learning. So landing into development with Python may look challenging, but it is definitely a must to got forth. Understood, all of you? This is what I would like to share with you. Similarly, there are many things people used to ask me that how should I start learning Python, or what will be the motivation to start with, right? So what I suggest is that try to learn Python from the scratch. There is nothing like that. You start learning it, basics, you gradually you will be able to learn everything. Since Python uses completely object oriented concepts, so it becomes very easy to relate it with the real life model, real life world as well, right? So it is not that difficult if you think. And since I have told you that lots of Python like libraries are also available, so it does not make the things very much difficult. The thing which you need to learn, I'm again telling you, the thing which you need to learn is that you should know that which particular function or which particular library you have to use at which particular point of time. So this is what the is all about the Python. All right. So is there any question? If is there any question from
Uh,
anyone?
Hello everyone. If you have any queries, please do send it to us using the chat section. So we can wait for 5 minutes for them to have any queries. Okay. So
All right.
we haven't received any queries as of yet. So let them type their queries, and in 5 minutes we'll start solving each one of them.
All right.
Okay. Okay. Uh, there are few
All
questions.
right.
One is from Swaroop. Is Python the only language popular for AI and ML?
Yeah, I just so okay. Hello, Swaroop. Your question is that Python is the only language popular for AI and ML, right? Well, I would like to tell you that it is not like that. AI and ML in previous time also it was people used to develop so many applications on AI and ML, but the thing is that at that time it was very difficult to make so many applications for AI and ML. But since Python has made them all easier, so that is why people are moving completely towards Python to make any kind of application or any kind of things for AI based software or something like that, right? So you can say that nowadays the most uh, concentrated area has become a Python, right? So it is that much why that is the reason why Python has become so much popular. As you all know that there are so many machine learning based softwares in the, for example, like I must tell you that recently there is a university, John Hopkins University. They have developed a machine learning based software which can detect the coronavirus, right, with the help of image processing, and that was 90% of the code was made in Python only. You can go and Google it. You can easily get the thing. Also, this was the news, right? So Python is the popular language, and it is majorly being used in AI and ML. How much time does, next question is from Vivek. Hi Vivek, your question is how much time does it take to learn Python? Okay, very good question, Vivek. Let me tell you that Python is easy, as I have told you. It is not like that it is very difficult or it will take a large amount of time. But the important thing, as I have focused every time, is that you need to know that how to use the Python at particular thing, right? As I have every time I have told you that we are having a good huge amount of resource in terms of libraries and all these things. The thing which we need to practice is that which particular function or which particular module will be used to at which particular point of time, that for my particular problem which particular library should be used. That is the thing which you need to learn, right? That definitely needs some experience, right? Is Python good for beginners or should different language be used initially? No, no. As I have told you that Python is very good for beginners. There is no need to go for other languages. Python is completely object-oriented language also. So if you are learning one single object-oriented based language, so you can learn other languages very easily. So object-oriented is basically a common platform for every language. For example, C++ is also an object-oriented concept. Java is also an object-oriented concept. Similarly, Python is also an object-oriented concept. So there is no need to go for like this thing, right? How is Python categorized for different functionalities developed on Python? Sorry, this question is little bit ambiguous. Okay, you have written, how is Python integrated with any other language or languages to perform or build, let's say, model? Yes, yes, correct. You are absolutely right, Vivek. Python can be used to do different kind of things, right? As I have told you that with the help of Python, we can do web development. So web developments, web development simply means that you are writing a code for developing some website or something like that, right? So in that case, you have to integrate Python with the help of HTML. So there are different medium and there are different platform also which is available through which you can integrate both of them, right? Yes, you have written, for example, AI and web. Is it used differently? See, web is a particular field and AI is a particular field. Yes, definitely, both of them can be assembled together. They can be integrated on one common platform. Yes, definitely we can do it. Rajesh Sharma has asked me, hello Rajesh, you have asked me that I'm working as a physics educator for last 6 years. After I completed my engineering in electronics and communication, now I am looking for a career transition into software domain. I have planned to do masters in computer science. Okay, can you guide me how can I make this career transition smoothly? All right, Rajesh, you have asked a very good question, because nowadays people are asking this type of questions so much. Let me tell you my experience. uh, me as a I am also assistant professor, right? And I am also taking data science classes and these things. In one of the company as a freelancer, I am doing the same work. So you can see the transition. I was also a teacher, and then I have transformed myself with the help of Python, with the help of data science and machine learning into a corporate domain. So you can easily switch these things with the help of machine learning and data science. You can there are so many students in one of the organization where students from statistics background, they are also learning data science and machine learning, so that they can implement the benefit, the strong point of these domain into their core domains, right? So you can make the career transition. There is undoubtedly there is nothing to be in confusion, right? So even if you are in education field, you can come up with the this corporate domain. Do not worry about that, right? Swaroop has asked 3.x or 2.x for AIML. Yes, definitely, Swaroop. See, 3.x and 2.x. 3.x is definitely the latest one, and 2.x is little bit old one. But what I would suggest is that use the latest one. But yes, few of the things in 2.x domain is missing in 3.x. So it is not like that. You cannot go for 3.x. Use 3.x, and if whenever you will be requiring the new things, you can go for 2.x. There is no problem. There is just a minor differences. So do not worry about that. So Vivek is saying thanks to me. All right, Vivek, I hope I have clear your doubts. Anyone else, if want to ask Rajesh ji, do I have directly going for course on AI ML will be better, or going for MTech from good IITs will be better? All right, Rajesh ji. See, if you want to continue your teaching field, you have to do the MTech, right? But if you want to go to the corporate, then there is no need of MTech. You can directly go to the course of AI and ML, and you will crack the corporate interview. There is nothing difficult, right? Corporate people just need the experience on hands-on experience on live projects. So here in our machine learning course, we will be giving you live project demonstration, and giving you some capstone projects also. With the experience of those projects, you can easily understand the end-to-end project development, right? So in this way, you can easily understand how the company works on a particular project. So there is nothing in relation with doing the MTech and going for corporate. So you can just directly do the course, and you can crack the interview.
Okay, ma'am, there's a query for me actually.
All right.
Preetham says how to get this all course. So basically, Preetham, do visit our website, that is www.mitfutureacademy.com, and you can explore various courses. The one which we are talking about today is the postgraduate program in machine learning and artificial intelligence. So do check out for further details like the modules, the topics covered, and everything. And there is a basic registration for you to get a call back from our academic team. So once you do that as well, you can directly talk to our academic team and further gain more information on these courses. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Rajesh ji. Anyone more
Okay,
queries?
we received any queries. So, guys, if you have any more queries, do send it to us as soon as possible because we have a time restriction.
Okay. Yeah, I think that no one is right now typing anything, right?
Okay, so I believe all of your queries have been solved. Or if you still have any queries, what I would suggest you is do visit our website and you can directly get in touch with me. That is, I can send you my email ID. So if you need any more information, what I would suggest is do give me a mail, drop me a mail. I'll just connect you with the concerned person who could help you from our team. So in that way, even you could be aware of everything. Okay.
Okay,
How?
there is one query has come from Vivek. Okay, he's asking that how much time it takes to learn Python. See, Python is a language, right? Python is a language which you need to implement on a particular domain. As I am giving you, like machine learning or data science or AI, right? This is what you need to learn. Learning just a language is not beneficial. You have to learn the language and you have to implement on the domain. So your question is like that, how much time it will need to learn the Python on machine learning. So I would suggest that to learn the machine learning using Python will take 3 to 4 months of time. It's a very small amount of time. Continuous practice will definitely squeeze this time period also, right? Do you provide data or industry data? Yes. If you're talking about data set, yes, we will be working about on live project, live data set only, right?
Okay, so for assignments and case studies, everything, we do provide the
Mm.
data set used in the videos and everything. And apart from that, to get the data, there are various sites as well. One such is UIC repository, Kaggle, and everything. There's a huge
Yes.
repository of data wherein you could explore that as well for
Mm.
your own practice.
Yeah. So do not worry about that thing. Do recommend this for someone from non-technical background and completely new to the language. Yes, Raveen Kevalji. Yes, as I am telling you that it is. See, it's not that difficult to learn. Do not like be in a confusion. It is not that difficult to learn. You just need to know the concept. For example, like if I ask you that you have to find out the even numbers and odd numbers in between 1 to 10, what will be your logic? Your logic will be that even numbers are those numbers which are divisible by 2. That's it. So you just need to know the concept. You need to make yourself very logical. As soon as you will make yourself you can easily solve your problems, right? Any kind of problem. So do not worry about that. Even if you are from non-technical background or something like that, there is nothing like that. You just have to focus yourself onto the logic, and then you just need to know the syntaxes. That's it. As I have told you that syntaxes of Python is too easy, very much easier as compared to other languages, right? So do not worry about this thing.
Okay.
I hope Raveenji, your problem is solved. All right.
Okay.
I
So
think Zubin, they are typing very. I mean, it is taking some time. They are typing.
okay, so let's just wait for 2 more minutes and see
Yeah.
till
Mhm.
at least till 4 o'clock, and let's try to solve as much queries as we can from our side. Until at 4 we
Exactly.
can definitely end the session.
Do not worry. You can ask me anything. Do not worry about anything. Any doubt you are having, just ask. Do not hesitate. Yes. One more.
I'll send that again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. There is one query Rajesh Sharma ji asking. Is it easier to use data structures along with Python? See, Rajesh ji, what I would like to tell you is that every language has their own data structure, right? Similarly, Python has their own data structure. Uh, yes, it is much easier to use the concept of data structure in Python. So do not. It's not like that. It's difficult. Python is quite easy language in this case, right? So it is quite easy. You can implement everything. You can implement binary tree. You can implement, if you have heard about these terms, you can implement binary tree. You can implement linked list. Everything can be everything can be implemented in with the help of Python. All right. The next question is from Vivek. How do we compare Python and R? All right. So see, the first difference between Python and R is that Python is more oriented towards corporate. It is basically a industry oriented language, right? Whereas R is more towards academics. For example, like if you want to do you want to do some analysis or research or doing anything like that in PhD, it is more that you better use R as compared to Python, because in Python we are trying to do more projects as compared to PhD projects, right? Are there more libraries in R? Nothing like that. There is nothing like that. R is statistically it is stronger as compared to Python, but Python we go towards Python because it is more oriented toward industry, and that is what everyone's aim is, right? So it is not like that the number of libraries more in R or less in Python. It is not like that. Does R take longer to learn or longer to learn and compile? These are the two different things. Like longer to learn, compile. No. It's not like that. See, if you are able to learn Python, you can easily learn R. It is not like that. So no, nothing like that. Compile time is not greater in Python as compared to. Does it get monolithic in R? Can you type the question more clearly? Can you type me the question more clearly?
What we can do is we can allow him to talk, so he can basically just shoot the question right away.
Yes. Okay. Does the code get too long in R? See, writing a programming code, it's completely depends on the programmer, not the language. As I have told you, language is what just a platform it's just a weapon which you will be using to solve the problem, right? It's completely up to you that how much short you are able to write a program. That is the developer's intelligence and ability, right? It is, you cannot compare programming R with Python in terms of length of the code, right? Just the difference is that statistically R is stronger as compared to Python, and R is more towards academics and Python is more towards industry. That's it.
Okay, ma'am. I believe we might have to end the session now. So as I
Yeah.
said, if you have any more queries, I have given you my email ID in the chat section to have a look at it, and you can drop me a mail and I'll connect you with the correct person who might help you in solving those. And thank you, ma'am, for this wonderful session.
Thank you, Zubin. Thank you, everyone. So do not, all of you, whosoever has attended the session, do not worry about this thing. It's easy. Just go through it. It's easy. Do not worry. All right. Have a safe, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks, everyone. Stay
Thank
safe.
you, Zubin. Thank you. Same to you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.